Good morning.
Good morning.
So most of us are dealing with computers every day. And that means that most of us, at least once a week, gets frustrated by our computers. And perhaps on a daily basis, I probably find something a little frustrating about my computer and how it works, and my own operator error that has to do with how my computer is working. And so what I've learned, especially living with an IT expert, is that when things are going awry, when things aren't quite working right, when our apps or our programs or something is just kind of askew, that the thing we do is reboot. In fact, whenever I call Quentin to say something else is wrong, that's the first thing he asks me. Did you reboot? And so sometimes we need a spiritual reboot. And we are on this journey of the year of I Am, and we all chose a word. And for those of you who are fairly new, like Tony and Nick and maybe some other folks who weren't here like in the first couple of months, we can sit down and talk about this journey and picking a word and things like that. But we all chose a word, and here we are in month 8. Can you believe it?
No.
August. So what happens when you're 8 months down the road of a mission? Things are probably going askew. You may not remember what your word is. You may not have thought of it lately. You may not be thinking as you go through your day, who am I? Like the lion in the video. What's happening? Am I concentrating on that? Have I lost my way with it? Is it time to reboot? I have noticed in my own journey in affirming that I am inspiration, that I was working hard on my affirmation. I was saying it several times a day, every day, reminding myself of it, and then at some point I got out of the habit. But also at some point I started taking some action and doing some things in my life that were indicative of inspiration, and it took me to another level. So I started that in April and May. I got a personal trainer because I wanted to be taken to another level with that, and I knew I wouldn't do it. So I found somebody who could push me and challenge me and make me think about who I am on all levels. Because when you have somebody like a mentor or a trainer, a coach, they do challenge you and they do take you to levels that you would not have thought of going on your own in ways that you would not have thought of doing it. And so I find that I am inspiring myself more often than I'm thinking about inspiring other people. But as we do for us, the world responds. The people around us respond. We've talked before about us changing, and then the world changes with us. Everybody who comes within your purview, who gets within your space, in your energy field, is affected by all of us as individuals. So how do we reboot? With a computer, you turn it off and back on. You ask it to restart. And then all the programs line up. It's checking defaults. Everything that started to go wrong, that was kind of all over the place, is brought back in to where it should be. And so for a spiritual reboot, we've got to remember who we are. Come back to the beginning. Get back to the practice. Get back to the affirmations. Maybe you change the affirmation. Maybe you shift it a bit. Maybe you go to the next level. Maybe you push yourself a little harder. Maybe you ask those questions and go a little bit deeper. If you're talking about health, what does that mean on a different level? How can I be healthy in mind, body, spirit, and heart? Maybe it's not just about the body anymore. If you've chosen love, how do you show up as love in everywhere, not just relationships? How do you do it in your work? How do you do it when you're cooking dinner, working on a hobby, cleaning the house? How can you be love in those situations? How can you push yourself to love more deeply? Have you taken love beyond the people that you love to the people that you don't love so much or don't like so much? The people we try to block out. Are you trying to love them too? If it's gratitude, are you grateful for more than just the things you like? Yes. And the things that you're comfortable with? Can you find gratitude in the uncomfortable places? Can you find gratitude in the weeds when they're high and thick and they're bumping up against you and pushing you around and pushing your buttons? Can you find gratitude in the weeds? If you're blessed, do you feel blessed even when the going gets tough? When your boss is on your back? Friday, I was telling Nick and Tony that I realized in the morning I had an assignment from one of my classes that I took last week that was due that day. And I had 2 appointments I had to go to. And so I had 20 questions about the Hebrew Scriptures to answer before day's end. It took me a few minutes to feel blessed in that situation. It took me a bit. But then I found my stride. I moved a couple of appointments. One I had to set a little bit later so I'd have more time to be at my desk and get a couple of more questions done. Because I knew if I wanted my day to feel blessed that I didn't want to be continuing that exercise at 11 o'clock at night. So something had to shift in my day. Suddenly my priorities shifted. I had to take some deep breaths, a lot of them. But I also made time to meet with a good friend during the day because I know that feeds my soul. And when I came back, I was refreshed and could answer a few more questions, get through a few more things. So yes, can you feel blessed when we are in the weeds? If you chose complete, do you feel complete even when you get disappointed in friendships? Can you reboot in that situation? And even though something happens with a relationship, you know who you are and that you are complete. No matter what's happening in your outer world, you know that you are whole and perfect. So just like this video, when the monkey says, I know who you are, let me show you who you are. And that path where the lion is running through the forest to the Amazon. He's tripping over vines. The ground is uneven. Stuff is hitting him in the face. He's trying to keep up with the monkey who's just kind of making it through. And he's trying to maneuver. Just make his way around. Not a straight path. Up and down, over and around. And then he gets to the water, and he looks down, and he says, I don't see it. What the monkey said, stop. He made him stop. It got quiet. He said, look harder. And he got closer to the water, and that's when he saw his father's face appear. In his image. his image and likeness, was his Father. And he heard his Father's voice, saying, if you have forgotten me, you have forgotten who you are. It's the same way with spirit, that if we lose the awareness of spirit, if we forget the I am, and we have forgotten who we are, and this world starts to get dark and crazy and chaotic. And things like the violent acts that have happened in the last 24 hours smack us where we live. And for a moment, and maybe for hours, maybe for days, we feel out of kilter. And that's when the reboot has to happen. Restart the engine. Restart who you are. Remember who you are. Go back to the I am. So this is the revealing word from the Charles Fillmore Reference Library. The I am is spiritual identity, the real or Christ mind of each individual. The I am being, God is I am, and man, his offspring, is also I am. I am is the indwelling Lord of life, love, wisdom, and all the ideas eternally in divine mind. The I am is the metaphysical name of the spiritual self, as distinguished from the human self. One is governed by spirit, the other by personal will. Christ and Jehovah are the scriptural names for the spiritual I am. Jesus called it the Father. I am is eternal without beginning or end. The true spiritual man whom God made in his image and likeness. When you see you, you see God. The I am identity. As the will of God, man represents I am identity. Individual consciousness is like an eddy in the ocean. All the elements that are found in the ocean are also found in the eddy. And every eddy may, in due course, receive and give forth all that is in the ocean. This is individual consciousness, freedom to act without dictation of any kind. Selfhood without consciousness of cause, the power to make or break without limitation. Without consciousness of cause, no one has to start it for you. No one has to reboot you. You are already there. You just forget. You are unaware. The noise has become too loud. Without dictation. No one has to tell you anything. It's there. It's here. We lose sight. And so, like the lion did, he went to the water, got still, and looked at the image till he saw it. Looked at his own image until he saw it. We got to look to see. We got to get quiet to see. The I am. So it's time to reboot here in month 8. We don't give up just because the journey is long. This journey is eternal. And perhaps it doesn't even stop when we take our last breath. The I am is eternal. The I am that is you is eternal. When the body quits, your I am continues because it is energetic. It is energy. Just like the monkey reminded the lion, your father didn't go anywhere. He's still here. I've watched that video probably 5 or 6 times in the last couple of days. And it wasn't until I watched it here that I felt something when he said that to the lion. It's all here. 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 We find it again in the silence, in the remembrance of who we are. Again, no one has to tell you. You don't have to read it. You don't have to have permission. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to go anywhere. There are no classes that can make you have it. You don't have to graduate into it. It was there before you were ever born. It's quite the concept, isn't it? That Psalm 39, you knit me together in my mother's womb. You were active and present in this energetic field before you ever took a breath. And that same energy is in you, is you. It's not just in you, it is you. And so the question has come up this morning again, because stuff keeps happening. What do we do when the violence happens again? When the shots ring out? What do you do with the sadness? What do you do with your frustration, your anger? What do you do with your confusion? It's all in the reboot. Things are feeling askew. The weeds are hitting us in the face, the weeds of life. So like we did in meditation this morning, remind yourself aloud, let yourself hear it. Say the words, I and the Father are one. I am divine mind. I am one with the presence that is love, peace, joy, wisdom, goodness, harmony. And you stay in that flow, you stay in those affirmations until that peace is all through you. Till you feel it, till you see it behind your eyes, till you feel it in your bones. You keep affirming. Remind yourself. And feel what you feel in the moment. If the sadness has to roll, let it roll. I say that a lot because we have to do it a lot. Emotions. It means to move. You don't hold them. You let them flow. And when you're letting it flow, you're rebooting. So that you can calm down, get in the centeredness, the groundedness of spirit. And then when you are fully feeling the power of love, that's when you lend your consciousness to what's happening in the world. Stay in the power. So when you're praying for people, when you're praying for yourself, first, get centered, get here. Not just here, not just in your head, in your beingness, feel it. And then you can hold the pain that's in the world and not let it devastate you. Not let it hit you. Not let it bang you around. Not let it yank the rug from under you. Not let it get too loud so that you forget who and what you are and what you're called to do. And in those moments of silence, the still small voice can whisper to you. You'll hear what it is you are called to do, if it's anything different than what you already are doing. Most often, we are only to stay the course. Because you were created with a gift, and the gift that you are is the answer no matter what goes on. There's no need to find something else. Unless Spirit says, I want you to show up differently now. That right here, right now, I want you to do or be something else. Do or be something more. Expand into another level of consciousness and expression. But I know, unless I hear something else, that all I am to do is what I'm already doing. Because you were created as a gift. And the gift doesn't change. Like Spirit doesn't change. You are a blessed constant. Every last one of you. And you may have awakened this morning thinking just the opposite. Like the lion, you may have forgotten. You may have thought, I'm not that powerful. I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm too young. I don't have enough education. I don't pray enough. I don't do this enough. I'm not. It's all wrong.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You are more powerful than you know. More powerful than you dreamed. Already. Right here. Right now. Forever. Forever. So when it gets wonky, reboot. Hit the restart. Get back to basics. Tell yourself who you are. Like the lion, be the lion. See the image of God in yourself. Say the words out loud till you get it, till you feel it. I and the Father are one. The living affirmation. I and the Father are one. I am that harmonizing, positive, magnetic energy that the world needs right here, right now, forevermore.